Phil Spencer once upon a time saved Xbox, and now Xbox is looking more dead than ever. With Phil Spencer's exit from Xbox, we can look back at how he did leading Xbox, and it hasn't been good, unfortunately. He did get a pretty good start though. Before Phil Spencer took over, things were looking really bad for Xbox under Don Mattrick. The Xbox One was going to require a constant internet connection just to use the thing, and it came with and required to be connected to Kinect, which is just a motion sensor that jacked up the price of the Xbox One. People were very angry over this, and what was Mattrick's response? Just buy an Xbox 360, bro. Yeah, because that's how you sell a new product. This obviously didn't go down well with anyone, and Mattrick was gone within a month, shortly after the Xbox One's announcement. And after a brief stint under Jason Holtman, Phil Spencer took over as head of Xbox and inherited a brand that was in tatters. He moved quickly to stabilize Xbox by putting games back at the center of its identity, introducing backwards compatibility, and rebuilding trust after the Xbox One's disastrous launch. But as we stand in 2026, things look to have come full circle. Xbox today could not be looking any worse. This is a brand that has been defeated by both its competitors and by itself. One of the cracks with an Xbox under Phil Spencer's leadership was his commitment to the ecosystem over the hardware. Xbox's pivot was that they would no longer try to compete with Sony or even Nintendo in console sales. Instead, the ambition became to put Xbox on everything. Computers, phones, TVs, handhelds, and eventually on their competitors' consoles as well. This sounds good on paper. Play where you want, when you want, was what Xbox was now trying to sell. I get to play my Xbox games on almost anything. That's great. For me, at least. Unfortunately though, since you didn't really need an Xbox to play Xbox games anymore, then why would anyone buy an Xbox? Why would I buy an Xbox when its entire library of games is on PC, the Nintendo Switch, or even the PlayStation? Why would I buy an Xbox when if I were to buy a Switch or a PlayStation instead, I can also play console exclusives like Pokemon or God of War on top of Xbox's game library? By mandating that virtually every Xbox first-party title be available on PC, and more recently on other consoles, Phil Spencer stripped the Xbox's hardware of the thing that sells consoles in the first place: exclusive games. Consoles are loss leaders. They sell the console at a loss, but then subsidize it by offering exclusive services and games, which is where the majority of console profits come from. But if your games and services sell, with or without the actual Xbox console, then why sell the console in the first place anymore? They're now selling it at a loss for no reason. While no more exclusivity is pro-consumer and is what I prefer, it does remove the value of the Xbox console itself. Xbox is now prioritizing getting more people to play Xbox games somewhere over the health and sustainability of Xbox's dedicated hardware platform. The decline in Xbox console sales compared to its competitors tells you everything. The core identity of Xbox as a console platform was sacrificed in the name of a ubiquitous software ecosystem. And as a result, Xbox as a console doesn't seem to have a future anymore. Since Xbox exclusives were no more, and Xbox just wanted as many of its games as available as possible, Xbox instead wanted to just have more games. Phil Spencer then led Xbox on a massive multi-billion-dollar acquisition spree. This was simply to own popular studios and their franchises, which come with their own fans and player bases. It began with Mojang, but escalated into the monumental $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax Media, and the gargantuan $69 billion takeover of Activision Blizzard King. Xbox now owned Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Call of Duty. Unfortunately, it turns out that Xbox was completely unable to manage its newfound giant gaming empire. Instead of these studios succeeding, we witnessed a series of management failures that were even worse than the results of EA's acquisitions back in the day. We saw developers like Arcane Austin, known for their immersive sims like Prey, forced to create Redfall, a live service disaster that both embarrassed Xbox and led to Arcane Austin's closure. This was only the beginning, however, as Xbox became the forefront for the waves of mass layoffs that gutted the game industry. Thousands of talented developers were shown the door, not because they failed, but because Xbox just bit off way more than they can chew. Even Tango Gameworks, the studio that delivered Hi-Fi Rush, a vibrant, creative, and universally acclaimed game, was not immune. Microsoft would have shuttered the studio as well had Krafton not acquired them. Additional studios that were shuttered were Alpha Dog and Roundhouse Studios, and they canceled a number of other games and closed those studios as well. It was a complete disaster. All of those acquisitions, and for what? Almost nothing. And for the games that did come out and the studios that had survived, Xbox still has failed to produce a single, undisputed Game of the Year title, something that truly makes Xbox's brand shine. While Sony and Nintendo have delivered titles that have changed gaming itself, like God of War, The Last of Us, or The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Xbox's output has felt perpetually stuck in the pretty good tier. Even Bethesda's latest mainline RPG, Starfield, was just okay at best. And Halo Infinite, the Halo franchise's latest attempt to make a comeback, had a rocky life cycle to say the least, only to then die unceremoniously. All of those studios and all of those games, billions of dollars spent, and yet Xbox is limping, to say the least. And if everything I just said didn't kill your interest in Xbox, the price tag certainly will. In a move that defies decades of console history, they raised the price of their hardware that is years old. Twice. The flagship Xbox Series X, which launched at $499, has been hiked up to a staggering $649. The PlayStation equivalent is $549. Even the all-digital white model sits at an eye-watering $599, while PlayStation's equivalent is $499. And the Series S was supposed to be the budget console at $299, and yet today, that same model has been pushed to $399, a 33% increase from its launch price, and you can buy a refurbished, more powerful PlayStation equivalent for the same price at $399. Oh, and if you want the 2TB Galaxy Black Special Edition, you're looking at $799, while the 2TB PS5 Pro is $749. Xbox sure is giving you your bang for your buck compared to their competition these days, huh? The reality is that Xbox now costs significantly more than PlayStation everywhere, when again, PlayStation is both cheaper, offers more power, and has PlayStation exclusives on it. By raising prices to be more expensive than its competitors, while simultaneously putting their exclusives on PlayStation, Xbox has effectively told newcomers to just not buy their consoles anymore. Phil Spencer's tenure at Xbox started out well, and he definitely had good intentions, but under his tenure, the Xbox brand has been irreparably damaged, and it's looking like the end for Xbox any day now, at least for its console business. The removal of console exclusivity, while pro-consumer, has removed any reason as to why anyone would choose to buy an Xbox over the Switch or PlayStation. And Xbox's acquisition of studios have just been disastrous and a complete waste of billions of dollars, with all they have to show for it are thousands of employees laid off, studios closed, projects cancelled, and not a single Game of the Year title among them. Not to mention that after all the price hikes, Xbox's hardware across the board are now much more expensive than PlayStation's. Things are not looking up, however, with Phil Spencer's replacement being Asher Sharma, who is a Microsoft AI executive with zero background in games. I see this as a death knell for Xbox's console business, and I think that Game Pass is the product that Xbox will try to completely pivot to now. Xbox really did lose the console wars. We just never imagined just how badly they'd lose. But I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. If you learned anything, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.